He's seen almost 30-something odd emergency vehicles heading to the area, including Hamilton County emergency vehicles, Hamilton County Sheriff deputies, also Chattanooga Police. So many people helping with this active shooting this afternoon. Again, Amnicola Highway is shut down at this hour, so if you need to travel, if you normally travel that area, you need to find an alternative route this afternoon because that area is completely shut down. As you can see, police are on the scene working this right now. We're still working to get some of this information confirmed. Right now, we don't know if anybody was hurt. We don't know who was doing the shooting. So this is still something happening, and all of this information is coming in to us live as we get it, and we're bringing it to you live on the air this afternoon. If you have friends that are not near their television this afternoon, they can go to newschannel9.com and they can see this streaming live here this afternoon. As you can see, our photographers, they're moving the camera around to different angles so we can see different parts. You can see more emergency vehicles coming in as Hamilton County deputies flying down Amnicola Highway, as you can see there, going to closer to where this is. We understand the shooting, the shots fired happened somewhere in the 4200 block. This was sometime around 11:15 or so. Drew Balea was one of our first reporters on the scene. We also talked to some people that have called us here at the station. A student from Chattanooga State Community College said the school is on lockdown at this hour. So if you have classes at Chattanooga State, you need to call ahead. I'm sure you've gotten an alert from the school of what you need to do. So if you have classes, you may need to avoid that area right now because there's so much police activity. Another employee from a local company, a bin swinger, a glass employee near where all of this is happening, told us that police confirmed to them that they are working some type of active shooting right now at this hour. Again, this is back to the live scene. This is just one stretch of highway on Amnicola Highway. Our crews cannot get really close to the scene because of what's happening now. We don't know if anybody has been shot. We don't know if anyone's hurt, but we do know we've seen a number of police cars, a number of emergency personnel flying down Amnicola Highway this afternoon. And again, we've gotten a number of pictures in, so if you have any photos that you can safely send to us, send them to us. And Drew Balea was one of the first people on the scene. So Drew, tell us, what do you know right now?
Hey, thanks, Greg. I'm monitoring social media as we're on the side of the road here, and I'm seeing a tweet from Andy Berke that says, horrific incident in our community. We will release details as they are confirmed. Prayers to all those affected. And I got to say, I also have a tweet here from CNN Breaking News that says they have a quote from Mayor Andy Berke saying, one officer injured during highway shooting. So we haven't been able to independently confirm that information. Again, this coming from a tweet from CNN Breaking News. It is a quote from Chattanooga Mayor Andy Berke saying one officer injured during a highway shooting. And as I look out my window right now, I see the DA, Neil Pinkston, also an assistant DA, Lance Pope, pulling up in a private vehicle, and they are now heading towards the scene just up Amnicola Highway. Again, that's DA, District Attorney Neil Pinkston, and the Assistant District Attorney Lance Pope, as well as a couple other people in the vehicle I could not identify that are now heading towards this scene. And so when you see that the DAs are coming in, usually that means a scene is contained and the threat has been neutralized, so to speak. Again, I don't want to speculate too much. I'm just speaking out of experience. When I've seen the DA arrive at different crime scenes, it's usually not when they are active at that moment. Again, that's the information I have at the moment, and you might be able to hear some more sirens coming by as this is still a very fluid situation. So just to recap the news that we just now have, a tweet according to CNN Breaking News, one officer injured during this highway shooting. Also, the DA is now on the scene.
All right, Drew Balea, thank you so much. Again, as Drew was just saying, recapping again, he said Andy Berke, the mayor here in Chattanooga, just confirmed moments ago to CNN Breaking News that one officer has been hurt. We don't know the extent of the officer's injuries at this time, or we don't know who is responsible for this shooting. Again, if you're just now joining us, we're following breaking news, Amnicola Highway, and we have Mayor Berke on the line this afternoon. Mayor Berke, good afternoon and good morning, I should say. What can you tell us? Mayor Berke, can you hear me? We'll try to get to Mayor Andy Berke in just a moment, but again, this is a live scene, a live look at what's happening on this stretch of Amnicola Highway this afternoon. Again, this is all Amnicola Highway near River Park. We understand, again, a shooting, some sort of shooting. We didn't know in all the specific details at this hour. We do have several crews that are on the scene. We're trying to get Mayor Andy Berke here in Chattanooga on the phone this morning and see if he can give us some information. We do know that he has confirmed that one officer has been hurt in the shooting. Let's go now to Calvin Sneed this morning. So, Calvin, what do you know?
Greg, we just left a news conference with the mayor and also County Mayor Jim Coppinger. And at the tail end of his news conference, Mayor Berke mentioned the fact that there was a shooting at the location that you gave. And there was an audible gasp in the room. Nobody there had heard that and known about it. And the mayor immediately left and went into conference. We've not been able to get back to him. It's a very serious situation. He says that I asked him specifically, what his thoughts and prayers are, and that basically it's for the safety of the injured officer, the injured parties out there, and we will get more information from the mayor's office as soon as he knows it.
All right, Calvin, thank you so much. And Calvin, you've been here for a number of years. Have you ever seen anything like this to this extent? I know you're just sitting in that meeting. Have you ever seen anything like that in your time here in Chattanooga?
No, I haven't. In the 25 years that I've been here, Greg, I've not seen this type of activity. But there is a heightened awareness of things like this. There are lots of situations that when cities go into crisis mode. Years ago, they never had to go into a crisis mode. You handled it as you got to it. But now, with this increased fear, basically, in communities, people tend to hinge on things a little bit more. There's a lot more community reaction. There's a lot more law enforcement action, and there's a lot more social action. So, with Twitter and Facebook, helping to spread the word, and also sometimes not doing a very good job of it, because that also spreads rumors. Folks just need to sit back, let us do our job, let us find out what's going on, and we can tell you as soon as we get the word, and we are working hard to get that.
All right, Calvin, thanks so much. And as you can see live on your screen this afternoon, a number of deputies, police officers riding down Amnicola Highway as we speak. This is happening live, everyone. They are still investigating what happened. We're still trying to get some information, confirm what we do know. Mayor Andy Berke did confirm to CNN just a short time ago that one officer has been hurt. We don't know the extent of that officer's injuries at this hour. But again, we have a number of crews that have been working the story, working all angles to bring you the information that you need to know. And right now, Kelsey Bagwell joins me here on set. She's been following the social media, Twitter, Facebook. What have you learned?
A lot of people are taking to social media, as you've mentioned, to talk about what's happening, including some of those employees at the businesses that are shut down, and of course Chat State students as their school is also in lockdown. We mentioned earlier that Mayor Andy Berke has been speaking on social media about what's happening, and just moments ago his tweet reads, "Horrific incident in our community. We will release details as they're confirmed. Prayers to all those affected." And right now we still don't know the details, the backstory behind that tweet, but many other people, of course, our team coverage happening now. We have several crews there as well, and then our account, NewsChannel 9 on Twitter, will retweet all of that information as our separate crews get them. So be sure to also follow that if you're not already for the latest details. We're also hearing from Chattanooga Police that they have staging for media, so we're hoping to get those details as soon as possible. But as we've mentioned before, Drew Balea live on the scene. He said he's seen one ambulance speeding away from the area where he heard what sounded like 6 gunshots. The ambulance escorted by several police vehicles. And then many other viewers are sending some pictures as well from the scene. Again, those employees and students that are inside the closed off area of Amnicola, and they are sending what they're seeing as well. So that's adding to our coverage at this time.
Again, as Kelsey was just saying, you know, this is something we've been following throughout the morning. This just happened shortly after 11 o'clock in the newsroom. We heard shots fired, and of course, it just got immediately, we got quiet listening to the scanners. Again, as Drew Balea said just moments ago, when he got on the scene, he heard several gunshots at this site when he pulled up, and he saw a number of emergency crews, Chattanooga Police, Hamilton County Sheriff's deputies. They're also on this scene helping with this shooting, this active shooting happening at this hour. We do know Chattanooga State Community College, they're on lockdown right now. Kelsey Backwell also has a phoner right now.
We don't have any crews on the phone right now, but we do know one of those students has confirmed to us that the school is on lockdown. This happened about 20 minutes ago. We heard that the campus was on lockdown with an active shooter in the area. And of course, all those businesses in the area as well. None of the employees able to leave with this situation going on. And
we also told you just a little bit ago that Ben Swinger, glass employee nearby, confirmed to us that, you know, they were told that there was an active shooting happening and told to stay inside the business at that time. Also, again, as Kelsey just said, Chattanooga State on lockdown at this hour. So if you have classes at Chattanooga State, you may want to stay put right now. Don't head towards the campus. Amnicola Highway, again, shut down. As you can see, a number of police cars, emergency cars on Amnicola Highway. And we do know, just confirmed moments ago, that Mayor Andy Berke here in Chattanooga said that one officer has been hurt. We don't know the extent of that officer's injuries. And at this time, that's all we know. As you can see, police cars, unmarked cars, marked cars running down Amnicola Highway at this hour. This just happened again just shortly after 11 o'clock this morning. We were all in the newsroom when we heard this unfold on the scanners, and we all just gasped as, you know, Calvin Sneed, Kelsey, said that he was in a press conference with the mayor, and at the end, the mayor let everyone know in that press conference that some shooting had happened, and he released a statement just moments ago. And Calvin said he's been here 20-something odd years, and he's never seen anything like this magnitude in Chattanooga that he can remember.
And even the pictures that we're seeing, that we are retweeting on our station account, many of us in journalism have never seen that amount of emergency personnel, of ambulances, cop cars, EMS cars, to this extent. There's so many on the scene working together, several agencies working together to try to figure out what happened, get the scene contained. Again, Amnicola has been shut down for nearly an hour now, and our crews that are trying to travel around to get to where they're going say even the surrounding roads like DuPont Parkway and Highway 153, they're also seeing that slow down. So again, if you have any travel plans and you're in this area, you need to find a separate route. With Amnicola being shut down and the other nearby routes being as congested as they are, if you're traveling, you need to totally avoid this area.
Also, I just got a tweet just moments ago from a gentleman over at Erlanger Hospital. He says that he was about to get discharged at Erlanger Hospital downtown, but he says the hospital is also on lockdown at this hour. Again, I just got a tweet from a viewer just moments ago saying that he was about to be discharged from the hospital, but he says that the hospital, Erlanger Hospital downtown, is on lockdown at this hour. And again, we've been following this since it broke just after 11 o'clock this morning. And we understand, again, as we said, Chattanooga Mayor Andy Berke confirms that one officer is hurt. We don't know the extent of the officer's injuries at this hour. And we also know that, again, Chattanooga State is also locked down right now. So if you're in the area, avoid that area. We're still trying to gather information. We have crews on the scene. And I know Calvin C. just walking back into the newsroom just moments ago to tell us what he knows. He was just in a press conference with the mayor. And
he got that reaction as they did make it public that there had been an accident. I am just seeing a new update from Drew. He says that he did see District Attorney Neil Pinkston and Assistant DA Lance Pope passed him in a car. They were headed to that scene. So again, more and more agencies are making their way to that scene to determine what happened and where to go from here.
And now we're going to take Brianna Ardendo. She's about to do a live interview. So, Brianna, what do you have?
Okay, so we have Johnny Powell here. He was biking on the Riverwalk about half an hour ago. Johnny, when you were down in that area, what did you see?
Well, I seen a bunch of police officers headed down toward the main
we are still learning or trying to get a lot of information confirmed about how many people were involved in this shooting. But from what was the feel? Were there other bikers that were around the area? Did they have anything shut down?
Well, I didn't see any bikers around the area where the government is supposed to be, and I think they had the area already shut down before I got up to the dam to get to my vehicle.
And you said that you weren't able to get to your car at all, so right now you're kind of stuck?
I'm stuck. So I'm basically stuck out here on Amnicola Highway until they clear the mess up and apprehend the gunman.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, so we are still, I'm walking around and trying to see if there's anyone that might have seen or heard anything in terms of what happened in this shooting. Again, it's all under investigation, as our team reporters have been telling you. We're still working to learn more information about who all has been involved and what the extent of the injuries are, and we'll be able to get that information for you as soon as we have more confirmed.
All right, Brianna, thanks so much. We're getting new information right now. We understand ATF is also involved in this investigation this afternoon.
That's right. We did just get the update from Mike Knight with ATF. That's the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. We're told that they are responding to this scene, and as Calvin Sneed has told us in his many years of journalism, that makes this a fairly big deal, to use his terminology.
Definitely. Calvin Sneed just got back from a press conference with the Mayor Andy Berke. So, Calvin, tell us, what do you know right now?
As I said on the phone just a few minutes ago, there was an audible gasp when the mayor made his statement, and I don't know if it was something that we all weren't looking for. We weren't expecting that, but apparently, law enforcement and city government has been on this, for a few minutes, but all of a sudden they were able to tell us, anything they know. And we have an interview with the mayor that we're going to show here in just a few minutes as soon as we can get it into the system. But he was very anxious to end the news conference where we were on something else. I mean, we were all there based on something else, and then this just came up. So the severity of this apparently is pretty massive.
Can you describe the emotion in that room when the mayor broke the news to all of you? You were there for something else, but what was that mood like?
All of the news people there in the room started looking at each other like, had you heard anything? Did you see anything? The only thing we had was the confirmed shooting from the mayor. As we were coming back to the station from downtown, we ran into Amnicola Highway. We were on Amnicola Highway at Riverside, and they were diverting everybody over to Wilcox. So, folks, I can tell you right now, if you've got any reason to not be on Amnicola Highway right now, that's probably a good thing, because you're not going to get through there. Plus, you're going to find all the side streets, the bypasses, the areas around that, they're going to be jammed with cars. So I wouldn't try to use Amnicola Highway. And you can see right now on the screen where they have it all blocked off, streets are blocked off. They have just periphery traffic that was already inside of that coverage area to start with. They're letting those people out, but nobody else is getting in. So again, if you don't have a reason to be down there, it's best just to stay out of the way of law enforcement right now while they investigate this.
And I know Drew Balea just said when he got to the scene around 11:15 or so, he saw about 30 some odd police deputies, emergency personnel. When you drove through with your crew, what did you witness when you saw all of this on the Amnicola Highway?
Everybody's pressed in service. Apparently, with this type of response, when you've got the city, the county, the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, the government officers, that puts an extra emphasis on it.
All right, again, we're following developing news right now. This is an active shooting that happened sometime after 11 o'clock on Amnicola Highway. Again, Calvin Sneed was just with Mayor Andy Berke. He tweeted out about 18 minutes ago, horrific incident in our community. We will release details as they are confirmed. Prayers to all of those affected. And we're working, as Calvin just said just moments ago, to get that interview you have with the mayor.
And that's essentially what he told us. That's essentially what he told us at the news conference.
So describe the scene when you were out there. I mean, you said you've been here 20-something odd years. Have you seen anything like this for a city of this size?
Not in my collective memory. And again, as I was saying on the phone, we reach a situation where everybody's on edge. You hear about this going on in bigger cities. You hear about it going on in other areas. You never think that it's going to happen where you are, and then all of a sudden it hits right in your own backyard. It's nothing to panic about. It's nothing to go off the deep end about. We need to be concerned about it, and again, just let law enforcement do its job.
All right, Calvin, thank you so much. Again, if you're just now joining us, we're still working an active shooting that happened just shortly after 11 o'clock this morning. We understand CNN breaking news just tweeted out moments ago, active shooter incident reported at Navy Support Center in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Again, CNN breaking news just tweeted out that there's an active shooter incident reported at the Tennessee Naval Center. We just got this moments ago, and Kelsey's following some of the social media. So, Kelsey, what do you know?
Yes, CNN is reporting that Fire Chief Randy Jackson has confirmed that they're investigating an active shooter incident at the Naval Reserve Center in Chattanooga. That's off Amnicola Highway, I believe. Jackson said paramedics were standing by but had not transported anyone at this time. Photos posted on Twitter showed police blocking a road and large number of patrol cars. That's what we've been showing you all morning. This article was published at 11:42. So at that time, they had not seen anyone transported. But as we've mentioned, we have had crews on the ground that have seen several ambulances with their lights on speeding with police escorts. So we know that to be confirmed at this time that people have been taken, and we did, as Calvin mentioned, we do have an interview with Mayor Andy Berke that is in-house. Let's hear from him about this incident.
As soon as we know more, we will certainly get that information to you. I talked to Chief Fletcher right before I walked in here. I literally do not know more than I just told you. But as soon as we have more information, this is very important, and I'm very concerned about what's going on out there, and I need to go talk to them.
Why is that troubling?
We've got an officer down. We had somebody out there shooting at our Army Reserve Center. This is a very, very terrible situation, and we need to go figure out how we can handle it.
Again, that, as Mayor Andy Berke just said, the Naval Reserve Center. That place is located the 4051 Amnicola Highway. And again, as we've been talking about this morning, Kelsey, this all, unfolded just shortly after 11 o'clock. Shortly after 11 o'clock, and of course, not long after that, Amnicola completely shut down. Miles stretch worth of Amnicola. I'm hearing from Chat State, involving in Chat State, all the way down past DuPont Parkway and down that way. So we are seeing a large stretch of Amnicola shut down. All those businesses and schools on lockdown, several of them. That's where we're getting a lot of our information from, is the people inside this lockdown, including our crews on the ground. Most definitely. And a gentleman just tweeted me shortly ago. I mentioned this a little bit ago. A guy tweeted and said he was about to discharge from Erlanger Hospital downtown. The hospital is also on lockdown. So if you do have any doctor's appointments, if you have an appointment to go to the doctor, or you have a class at Chattanooga State, you may want to just stay put for at this time being, because everything on Amnicola Highway is pretty much closed. And again, as we've been saying all morning, about 30-something odd police, deputies, as well as emergency personnel, all on Amnicola Highway. And as you said just moments ago, ATF also here for the investigation. Yes, and you just heard it from Mayor Berke that he did report that there is an officer down. At this time, we don't know the extent of those injuries, and if that's the only injury, we're hoping to gather more information. But as you can imagine, all of the emergency crews, you still see them here on your screen. All of these crews, Chattanooga Police Department, County, the District Attorney's Office, everybody working together. ATF is on the scene right now determining what happened. Again, if you're just now joining with us, we're still following a shooting on Amnicola Highway. We understand this happened over at the U.S. Naval Reserve location. That's in the 4000 block of Amnicola Highway. Just shortly after 11 o'clock this morning, we heard a lot of talk and chatter going on the scanners in our newsroom. And as Calvin said, he was down with the mayor for press conference, and at the end of that press conference, the mayor started talking about what's happening. He did confirm that one officer has been hurt. We don't know the extent of the officer's injuries. We understand that this all unfolded again around 11:15 or so this morning. We're still working to confirm, trying to get our crews to the staging area where the reporters are going to be to get that information from Chattanooga Police. And as you can imagine, Amnicola Highway, a long stretch of highway. So all of this happening, unfolding right now, as you can see on your screen. Police officers, deputies, ATF also investigating. They have this entire highway shut down. Chattanooga State on lockdown. A number of businesses along Amnicola Highway, they're on lockdown at this hour. And as I said just a moment ago, Erlanger Hospital downtown, a guy tweeted me and said he was about to discharge, and they are on lockdown. So if you have to be in this area, just stay away. You don't want to be in this area because we are still getting information in as we go on this afternoon. And so we've been on the air since around 11:30 this morning following this. And Kelsey, you're following Twitter. You got some new information.
I do. Drew has updated us. He just sent a tweet that he asked an officer how the department is holding up after a report of another officer hit, and his response, quote, "You never want to see something like this." Again, we do not know the extent of that officer's injuries, but it is confirmed that there is an officer down in this situation. Terrible here. I mean, it's very hard to see, and with our crews on the ground covering this, not knowing. So
that's right.
We're certainly hopeful that this is just, you know,
hoping everything for the best. I know the mayor just tweeted out about 18 minutes or so ago that his prayers go out to everyone who is affected by the situation. Again, we understand there was some type of shooting at the Naval Reserve Center in the 4000 block of Amnicola Highway. We have a number of crews on the scene. We have Drew Balea, Brianna Ardundo, Alyssa Sperato. We have Kelsey Bagwell here. Kelsey has some new information right now.
We do. We have people in downtown Chattanooga just noting the amount of sirens they're hearing. If people aren't responding to the scene itself, we're hearing that they're also responding to Erlanger. So I'd imagine that so many of these units are patrolling both areas across Chattanooga, so definitely a heavy police presence across Chattanooga. You see even more cars coming through this active scene. There's still just more and more units that are responding to this crime scene.
Also, Chattanooga Police just tweeted out a little bit ago, Drew Balea was talking about this, the media staging area will be over at the east entrance of the Riverwalk between C.B. Robinson Bridge and Chattanooga State. So we have crews that are trying to get to that location. But as you can see here, this is a live picture of this stretch of Amnicola Highway. You can see a number of deputies, police, as well as other personnel. ATF is also working this investigation this afternoon, and we're still gathering information in as it comes into us. And you can always check Twitter, Facebook to get information. If you have friends that are not near a television right now, you can have them to log on to one of our apps, and you can check the live stream. Let's go now to Drew Balea. So Drew, tell us, what do you know right now?
Well, Greg, just seconds ago, a mobile command unit for the Chattanooga Police Department came by, and right behind it, a generator. So it looks like the police department is setting up to be in this area for a long time. As I mentioned, they're setting up this mobile command unit, which will be just near this naval center where those shots were heard from, that general direction near the river park. And so just to recap sort of what we have seen from our location here, we were driving back towards our station, which is near Highway 153, and we were coming from downtown Chattanooga on Amnicola heading north. And in that time, we were passed by several CPD cars with their lights blaring, and they were all flying in the same direction. Once we got to where we are now, which is just past the Pepsi plant and just before the Coca-Cola bottling plant, we were told to stop and pull to the side. An officer with a rifle got out of his vehicle and began directing traffic and turning traffic around from this area of Amnicola Highway. It has since been shut down, so we're pushing an hour and 10 minutes now that Amnicola Highway has been shut down. In that time period, we've seen at least 30 police vehicles ranging from TVA officials to Hamilton County Sheriff's Department, CPD officers, EMS crews, ambulances, the entire gamut. They have all been running by us, running is relative. They have all been flying by us in their vehicles towards the scene of the river park. And we've been monitoring Twitter and especially some of the sources that we have in News Channel 9. And I believe that Calvin was able to speak with Chattanooga Mayor Andy Berke, who says one officer was hurt during this situation and also had a reaction. Is that right, Calvin? Do we have that sound? Or Calvin, can you tell us what the mayor said about this?
As soon as we know more, we will certainly get that information to you. I talked to Chief Fletcher right before I walked in here. I literally do not know more than I just told you. But as soon as we have more information, this is very important, and I'm very concerned about what's going on out there, and I need to go talk to them.
Why is that troubling?
We've got an officer down. We had somebody out there shooting at our Army Reserve Center. This is a very, very terrible situation, and we need to go figure out how we can handle it.
Okay, so you heard there from the mayor that there is a shooting at the Army Reserve Center. It's actually a Navy Reserve Center there on the River Park area with one officer down. We're also investigating whether or not this may be linked to a shots fired call that happened on Lee Highway. So there might be multiple locations here where this entire situation had unfolded. And as you just heard again with an officer down, I did have an opportunity to ask several of the officers out here how they were holding up in this situation when we had a moment of downtime, so to speak, when there wasn't cars flying back and forth. And the one officer shook his head, looked towards the ground, and told me that you never want to see something like this. And then he kind of said, walking away, 19 years, and shaking his head. I'm not sure what that was a reference to, but again, saying that this is never something you want to see. So that's kind of the mood with the police officers that are manning the perimeter. And again, they do have weapons drawn once again, and they are not letting any traffic by unless they have blue flashing lights. That's all I got for you guys here at the moment. But again, this is a very fluid situation with things changing, evolving as the time ticks. So be sure to stay with News Channel 9 for the latest. Guys?
All right, Drew, thanks so much again. This is all unfolding on Amnicola Highway at the Navy Support Center here in Chattanooga. Mayor Andy Berke has also been weighing in. We are following Twitter. Kelsey is following Twitter right now. What do you know right now?
New details to tell you about the U.S. Navy did tweet that they're investigating a report of a shooting in Chattanooga. No confirmation, but more to follow. We are on the ground and have confirmed from Mayor Berke that that did happen. And Senator Bob Corker is also taking to Twitter. He has said, "My prayers are with those affected by the ongoing situation in Southeast Tennessee." Our Brianna Arredondo, who's on the scene, has tweeted, "Confirmed shooting with one Chattanooga Police Department officer injured. Amnicola Highway is shut down. Passersby tell me they've seen 30 to 40 cop cars." And different businesses included now. The Chattanooga Food Bank has also put out a tweet saying they're currently closed due to a security issue, and they'll notify everyone as soon as they resume normal business hours. So more and more people taking to Twitter with more information on that. So another reason to be sure that you're following the News Channel 9 account.
Also, I have something, actually I'm looking at this from CNN, that Chattanooga State Community College has asked its people on its main campus to stay inside because of a confirmed shooting. They also took to their Twitter account that CNN picked up as well. So that whole area is just completely shut down, and everybody's just about on lockdown.
There's also another tweet from the U.S. Navy. This just came out 3 minutes ago. They're investigating a report of a shooting at the Navy recruiting building on Lee Highway. This is a separate scene. We have another crew. Alyssa Sperato is on that scene right now. So we're now hearing that there are two separate, as Greg mentioned, the other incident on Lee Highway. It is looking like those may be connected per the U.S. Navy.
Again, we have a number of crews covering this team coverage, all angles of this story. Again, as we've been saying all afternoon, if you do know someone who's not at home watching the television, they can watch this online, newschannel9.com. Calvin Sneed is also here. What do you know right now, Calvin?
I just heard, and I don't know if you know this, if you mentioned this, Kelsey, but Bradley Square Mall is on lockdown in Cleveland as well. We don't know if it's related to this, but just, you know, you can rest assured that we are looking into it. Bradley Square Mall is on lockdown right now.
And to note, just on Twitter, National networks are taking notes. CNN, ABC, Yahoo News, all of them are reporting this, and we're seeing that one of the stations in Atlanta is actually on their way up as well to cover this, what Mayor Berke is calling a horrific incident in Chattanooga.
Again, to recap, this all unfolded just shortly after 11 o'clock this morning at the Navy Support Center in the 4000 block of Amnicola Highway. And we understand, as we've been talking since around 11:30, that we have confirmed from Mayor Andy Berke, one officer hurt. We don't know the extent of that officer's injuries. We're still working contacts to confirm exactly what is going on, what happened, what led to the shooting. So a number of questions that we have to ask to Chattanooga Police. They're working a staging area to get all of the journalists. As you can imagine, Amnicola Highway, a long stretch of highway, to get all of those people down to that staging area to get that information out is pretty tough right now. They're wanting to secure the scene and make sure not only just the police officers are safe, but make sure everyone in the area they are safe this afternoon.
And again, we can tell you that it is that Amnicola is shut down from Wilcox Boulevard north all the way to the Chickamauga Creek Bridge, and probably now beyond, because this is an active situation. It's an active scene. So again, if you don't have any reason to go downtown, or stay away from it for right now.
And right now we understand that it's still unclear. This is according to CNN, unclear if the gunman is still on the loose at this hour. This all unfolded just shortly after 11 o'clock this morning.
And another important thing to note is we don't know if gunman is one or plural. We don't know how many people are involved in this. That's another element of this story. We're still trying to gather information about how many people are behind this, how many people are injured. Those are questions we are still searching for. But as you can see on your screen, all of the people with those answers are working tirelessly to keep that area safe, to get it under control, and then we will have those answers for you.
Also, as we've been saying, a number of businesses, Chattanooga State, all on lockdown right now. So if you have classes there, don't even try to get to that area because everything is pretty much shut down. As you can see, a number of law enforcement police officers rushing to the scene on buses, trying to get to the scene and figure out exactly what's happening so that they can give that information to us. If you have any photos, if you're in the area, if you can do it safely, send them to us here at News Channel 9 in our See It, Shoot It, Send It gallery. We would love to share those photos with our viewers on air this afternoon. Again, we've been following this breaking news since it broke shortly after 11 o'clock this morning. We're still following this. The mayor tweeted out just over 40 minutes ago the horrific incident in our community. We will release details as they are confirmed. Prayers to all who are affected. Kelsey.
The U.S. Navy did just tweet, U.S. Navy confirms no shooting at Reserve Center on Amnicola Highway. There are already comments saying that that's not true. They're sitting right next to it. That from people who just happen to be inside the lockdown area. But the U.S. Navy is saying that it did not happen on their property where they are. So it's unclear where exactly, because the span of the lockdown does stretch so far. We don't know exactly where to pinpoint where exactly this has happened, but they are saying that this is not on the Naval Reserve Center's property.
Again, if you're just now joining us, this happened sometime around a little bit after 11 o'clock in the 4000 block of Amnicola Highway. We don't know if the gunman or if it's more than one person, if they are still on the loose this afternoon. We do know, confirmed from Chattanooga Mayor Andy Berke, one police officer has been hurt. We don't know the extent of that person's injuries. I just got a tweet from someone about 30 minutes ago over at Erlanger downtown, and he said he was about to discharge from the hospital, and the hospital is shut down. As you can see here, emergency crews running from the scene, driving away pretty fast, I'm assuming to take someone to the hospital to get some type of emergency care. But as you can see, this is a live picture. Amnicola Highway shut down, police cars, deputies from Hamilton County, all speeding down all stretches of Amnicola Highway at this hour right now. And we have a live picture. Our photographers on the scene bringing you this picture. Calvin Sneed is also following social media. So, Calvin, what have you learned?
I just got a tweet from Brianna, our reporter down on the scene, Brianna Arredondo, that red fire truck or fire apparatus you just saw going by, arriving on the scene of the shooting, and she says details are still developing. They're unclear right now on which property the shooting occurred, but as you saw that red fire apparatus go down the road, I think we can almost say that it's in that area right there, in the area that's up around the Police Services Center, up around Chickamauga Creek. As you're looking, that's the Chickamauga Creek Bridge is just off in the distance there. So there's just a lot of activity, a lot of reports coming in, and we are monitoring all those. Kelsey, do you have anything new?
I do. We have video now in-house of the Lee Highway scene. As we mentioned earlier, that's the second scene where police are set up. News Channel 9's Alyssa Sperato is on the scene there and said she asked officers to give her some information about what happened. Obviously, they're very busy at this moment trying to keep this second scene contained as well. I'm trying to see on the screen what some of these shops are. Calvin, can you help me out with that?
This is actually as you get off. If you're coming from Highway 153 from the Hickson area and you get off on Lee Highway, as soon as you get off that exit, right across from the McDonald's, this is where that scene is, where you can see police officers here on Lee Highway. Another active scene. We don't know exactly what's happening.
It's right beside Highway 153, as I recognize. Now we're back to Amnicola Highway. Not sure exactly what this vehicle is. This may be one of the company vehicles that works in that area.
And I just saw a tweet from CNN, a reporter there. He says a witness in Chattanooga here tells CNN that she saw a man with a high-powered rifle fire multiple shots at her store from a silver Mustang. This just moments ago, tweeted out from a reporter from CNN. Again, a witness saying that, telling CNN that she saw a man with a high-powered rifle fire multiple shots at her store from a silver Mustang. So that's just, there's so many reports that are coming in this afternoon, and we're still gathering information, trying to get our crews to that staging area where police will give out more information this afternoon.
It's incredible that we see this much police presence that's all concentrated in one area. I mean, every car, just about every car you see is a law enforcement officer of some sort. And
now we have Alyssa Sperato. She's on the phone. I think she's at Lee Highway, at the Lee Highway location. Alyssa, tell us, what have you learned?
Yeah, Greg, good afternoon. I just finished up an eyewitness account from a business that is just next door. I had a chance to speak with that manager who told me that he heard about 20 to 30 gunshots. He said he ran outside, and at that point he said there was a man in a silver Mustang convertible that had a gun outside of his car. He said that once he saw him, he pulled the gun inside, he ran out, and he sped off. He said that once at that point, the manager of Toscano's Pizzeria, which is right next door, he says he went to the Navy office. He says that's where he says he saw one person. He could not confirm if they were a service member, but they had a gunshot wound to the leg. He said that seems like that is what essentially happened here. Now, when you get on the scene, just to paint a little bit of a picture, there are officers walking around with AK-47s. When we got here, the scene was not as blocked off as it is now. That for our safety, the officers just pushed us back and said that, ma'am, I'm really sorry you can't be here. We want to make sure the scene is secured. So they pushed us about maybe 300 to 400 yards back. There's no idea. There's about 20 blue cones on the ground, which an officer on scene says those are shell casings. So that just shows you how serious of a situation is. We spoke to the officer on scene who couldn't confirm anything, but he said he believes this is possibly where this whole issue started. But again, that has not been confirmed. Of course, we are here. We are closely monitoring the situation just on the seriousness of the situation. And I'll continue tweeting at Sperato NC9. Of course, we'll have the latest for you. I will be here and give you the latest details as soon as we get them. Reporting live here on Lee Highway in Chattanooga, Alyssa Sperato, News Channel 9.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much again. If you're just now joining us, Alyssa was at the Lee Highway location, just off, right across from the McDonald's on Lee Highway. As you get off of Lee Highway onto Lee Highway and getting off the Highway 153, I should say. That's where she's located. Now we're going back to Amnicola Highway. Now, Calvin, you're still learning new information.
We just got a tweet from one of our producers in the newsroom that the information that she received is that there is no shooting at Bradley Square Mall. The lockdown was a precaution. It was just a precaution, and we're working to confirm that and get more information on that as it comes out. And
another tweet from our reporter Stephanie Santostasi. She has just arrived at Erlanger, so this is now the third scene that we have a crew at, and she is starting to gather those details, and we'll tweet them as soon as they're available.
And I just got a Facebook message from a student at Chattanooga State saying they are still on lockdown at this hour right now. Again, this is all unfolding. We understand, as we said earlier, the mayor, Andy Berke, just told us about an hour ago, confirmed that one officer has been hurt. We don't know the extent of the injuries of that officer. We understand that officer was hurt. We don't know the extent of the injuries, as I said earlier. But of course, you know, this is something we've been following since shortly after 11 o'clock this morning. We have a number of crews out. Drew Balea, we have Brianna Ardundo, all at the scene on Amnicola Highway. We're also getting more reporters to the scene this afternoon. We also have Alyssa Sperato at the location, a separate location where a shooting happened at Lee Highway and Highway 153. So this is something that has been going on since around 11 o'clock this morning. We've been on the air since 11:30.
I do have some breaking news. Lee University has just tweeted that they are on lockdown as well. They want their students to stay inside. So that is news out of Cleveland. Lee University on lockdown, as well as Calvin said, Bradley Square Mall was put on lockdown. There was no shooting. That was as a precaution. Not sure the reasoning behind Lee University, I'm sorry, their lockdown at this hour, but they did send a tweet asking their students and faculty to stay inside until further notice.
Also, this is an active investigation, so folks bear with us. As information comes in, we're trying to get that to you as quickly as possible. And
as I said about 15 minutes ago, a reporter from CNN tweeted out that a witness said that he saw a high-powered rifle from a man. He said a witness told a CNN reporter that he saw a man with a high-powered rifle fire multiple shots at a store there somewhere on Amnicola Highway from a silver Mustang. So everything is still coming in this afternoon. We have a number of crews out there. So this is going to be a pretty long day getting all this information.
I just got an email from another one of our producers whose wife works in the government office over in Cleveland. She says her office is also on lockdown. Folks, we have not connected any of these as yet. Hopefully, as the investigation unfolds, we'll be able to see if there are any ties, any links between the locations that we are giving you, because this information it's all coming in. We're trying to digest it. We're trying to draw the lines, connect the dots, and it's just taking a little time. So please bear with us as we get this information.
Most definitely. Again, if you see anything happening, if you know any information, give us a call here in our newsroom. We'll take that information and we'll try to get that confirmed. We're working really hard talking to police as well as deputies. We understand when our crews pulled up to the scene shortly after 11 o'clock, many of them seen as many as 30, 40 police cars from Chattanooga, Hamilton County deputies, as well as emergency personnel. We understand, again, one police officer has been hurt. We don't know the extent of the injuries. We understand this happened somewhere in the 4,000 block of Amnicola Highway. And Calvin, you were saying that is near the Police Services Center on Amnicola.
Just north of the Police Services Center. From where our camera is, this still seems to be the general central location of activity right now. Everything else is kind of reports and, you know, nothing, you know, that's been concretely sent to us as you know, important information. But this does seem to be the area of biggest interest right now, is what you're looking at right here.
And another big area of interest, Stephanie Santostasi has just confirmed that Erlanger is in fact on lockdown. Her tweet says she has confirmed she spoke with a nurse inside Erlanger Hospital. She says they are on lockdown. An announcement was made over the the loudspeakers. So we do know that the hospital is currently on lockdown, as well as several schools and businesses across Chattanooga and even upwards toward Bradley County.
Again, as we said earlier, Chattanooga Police are also investigating a second scene at the National Guard office on Lee Highway. There is an active crime scene with shell casings all over the parking lot. Police have not elaborated on the nature of that incident, but of course we are working to confirm more details. That's where Alyssa Sperato is live this afternoon. We'll check back in with her a little bit later, but she's at the location Lee Highway and Highway 153. We have Drew Balea. We also have Stephanie Sanastasi, as well as Brianna Ardundo. All of them are live down in that area near near Amnicola Highway, where all of this unfolded. Shortly after 11 o'clock this morning, the mayor sent out a tweet this morning saying that, he was praying for the families of everyone involved, and we're still following social media at this hour. Again, one Chattanooga police officer, we understand, is hurt. We don't know the extent. As you can see here on Amnicola Highway, cars are being turned around right now. So if you are driving near that area, stay away from Amnicola Highway, because it is shut down and there's no telling how long this entire area will be closed. Police are making sure this area is secure and safe for people that are living or working in that area, especially with Chattanooga State, another school in that area. And again, it's such a wide area that police are obviously taking precautions in a wide area. This is obviously something that is not just concentrated to what you're seeing here, and they are making arrangements and moving around just to make sure that they have everything under control. Again, if you're just now joining us, we've been talking about this shooting happening Amnicola Highway. We're getting conflicting reports as to where the shooting originated. We understand there was a shooting on Amnicola Highway, another shooting at a shopping plaza, Lee Highway, Highway 153. Calvin Sneed, you're in a press conference with the mayor this morning, and recap, what was that? You were there for a totally different story. Completely different story, and he tagged this out. He tagged this news conference out to tell us about an event that was ongoing involving an officer he said the Army Reserve Center. We now know it's the Naval Reserve Center on Amnicola Highway. And there was just sketchy information. The mayor looked, as you saw in the interview, which I hope we can cue back up, and let's hear that again from the mayor, he was visibly upset. He was visibly upset. And let's go to that now. Let's go hear what the mayor had to say to us about an hour ago.
As soon as we know more, we will certainly get that information to you. I talked to Chief Fletcher right before I walked in here. I literally do not know more than I just told you. But as soon as we have more information, this is very important, and I'm very concerned about what's going on out there, and I need to go talk to them.
Why is that troubling?
We've got an officer down. We had somebody out there shooting at our Army Reserve Center. This is a very, very terrible situation, and we need to go figure out how we can handle it.
And it's also a fluid situation as well. I mean, it's unfolding even as we sit here. It's still ongoing.
That's right, and we are still gathering those details. Brianna Arredondo did just tell us that there will be a press conference happening in the next half hour, so we can hopefully get the latest details from her as we get them. But if you are just now joining us, it's important to note that we are still gathering the information. All of the agencies working to get this information to us, they're working tirelessly at the scene to keep it safe, keep it contained. We do know there are several different spots across Hamilton and Bradley counties that are being monitored right now. It's unclear if those are related, and at this time it's also unclear the extent of injuries, how many gunmen they're looking for. We do know right now Drew Balea is he has some more information to tell us. He's on the phone with us right now. What can you tell us, Drew?
Hey, Kelsey. So as you're mentioning, all good stuff, good information about what is happening and taking place now. As Brianna said, they are moving media. get many people, and we have seen many different police officers come by. I rattled a list off of them earlier, including all local authorities, including TVA agents. Also just saw a badge from the FBI and ATF as well. So there are folks from federal agencies that were responding to this shooting scene as well. And also, I'm not sure if you guys have talked to Alyssa Sperato, who is at the scene of this second, or maybe the first shooting scene up on Lee Highway, but we just saw some information from Alyssa Sperato where a manager at a naval recruiting office told our crew there, Lindsay Manning and Alyssa Sperato, that a silver Mustang pulled up, and then the manager said, quote, "I heard at least 20 shots fired." So that was at this location off of Lee Highway. That then is possibly related to this huge police presence at the Naval Center off of Amnicola. Hold on 1 second. We're being talked to by police at the moment, and being told by police that we need to move our location to the fire training center for a news briefing, and that was one of the Chattanooga police officers, and it was a PIO who we see and interact with on a daily basis. Normally they are wearing, like a typical polo shirt or collared shirt and some khakis. This PIO who just pulled up had a bulletproof vest on. So that can kind of demonstrate just the urgency that there was with the police in response to this shooting scene. So we're moving locations now from where we were on Amnicola Highway, and we're actually just going about a quarter mile down the road south away from the shooting scene for where this police news conference should be taking place in the next half hour or so. So we will have updates, I would say momentarily. So stay with News Channel 9 for the latest on this story that will be evolving throughout the day.
All right, Drew, thanks so much. And we do have another update for you this afternoon.
We do. The U.S. Navy has actually retracted their statement saying that there was not a shooting. Now they're saying breaking correction. U.S. Navy confirmed shooting at building on Amnicola Highway. So they are saying, in fact, there was a shooting at their office on Amnicola Highway.
And we also have Brianna Ardundo. She's headed to the Fire Training Center where there's going to be a press conference here shortly, and we'll, of course, bring you that to you live as it happened right here on News Channel 9. If you're just now joining us, Amnicola Highway is shut down this afternoon. A number of businesses, Chattanooga State, a number of schools, a lot of businesses along that long stretch of highway, they're all closed or they're either on lockdown this afternoon because all of this is happening unfolded just shortly after 11 o'clock this morning. Mayor Andy Berke confirming that one Chattanooga police officer has been hurt. We don't know the extent of that officer's injuries, but he did say in a tweet that his thoughts and prayers goes out to everyone who's involved.
And many tweets have asked, what's the status of the gunman? That's something we still don't know either. We don't know if there is just one gunman or if there were more than one, if there were several. We don't have that information yet. So that's also another thing we are currently working on getting that information to you at this hour.
Again, as we said, this all unfolded around 11 o'clock. A number of police cars, emergency personnel, Drew Balea saying that when he pulled up just shortly after 11:15 this morning, he heard a number of gunshots. Drew said also told us that he saw almost 40-something odd Hamilton County deputies, Chattanooga police officers, a number of emergency personnel. We're getting a number of tweets this afternoon. If you have information that you can share with us, tweet us here at News Channel 9. You can tweet Kelsey or myself or Calvin, and we will be glad to share some of that information as we confirm information this afternoon. We're still gathering, again, as Kelsey just said, the U.S. Navy retracting what they said just 30 minutes ago.
Yes, and the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is also getting involved on the discussion on Twitter. They said they're working to determine our potential involvement in the Chattanooga incident. We'll update you as we know more. So as all of that comes in, we will know. We actually have
Yes, UTC spokesperson Chuck Cantrell is on the phone this afternoon. So, Chuck, tell us, what do you know right now?
Well, mostly we know what's being reported by the police radios and the media. Here at UTC, we're not affected by it in terms of operations. We are on lockdown. We're still operating as regular. If the time comes when we can provide any kind of support to anybody, we're prepared to do that. But at this point, we're operating as regular.
If you could tell me, for many of the students that may be watching, off-campus students that may need to go to class today, or students that are on campus, what would you like to say? Do they need to just stay put this afternoon?
I mean, unless they're in one of the areas that is actually in lockdown, we're having classes, and so they can come on to campus.
And what is the mood like? When you first got the word this morning, what was that mood like on campus over at UTC?
Well, obviously there's a lot of concern for the police officers and the first responders. Anything like this always brings up lots of, memories, and everybody's always concerned about the safety. When they, heard that Chattanooga State was on lockdown, students were asking if, does that affect us? And it doesn't. The situation is not close enough to our campus right now to affect us. And so once they hear that we're okay and we're all normal operations, they seem to be going about their day.
All right, Chuck Cantrell live for us on the phone. Thank you so much, Chuck. We'll check back in with you a little bit later. Calvin Sneed has some breaking news from TBI.
Yes, as I just said, we got a tweet from the TBI to the media that we are working to determine our potential involvement in the Chattanooga incident. We will update you as soon as we know more.
And we also were just contacted by TEMA to ask if we had a helicopter. They're about to impose a no-fly zone over Chattanooga, so that undoubtedly will affect flights coming in and out of Chattanooga. We're so close at our station in this area to the Chattanooga Metropolitan Airport, so it's very important to note if they do impose a no-fly zone, that will undoubtedly delay some flights in and out of Chattanooga.
That's unusual. That's unusual. That is something that's almost, we haven't had that since, oh my goodness. I'm trying to think. Back over the years, a no-fly zone over anything like almost back to 9/11. There's not been that type of clampdown. And you're right. It will affect flights coming in and out of the Chattanooga Metropolitan Airport.
Again, if you do have family members that are in that area on Amnicola Highway, check on them this afternoon. If you know anything, call us here in the newsroom, tweet us, Facebook us. We're taking in information. We have a number of crews. Brianna Ardundo is headed to the Fire Training Center this afternoon. That's where a press conference will happen shortly with Chattanooga Police as well as other entities. We understand Chattanooga Police also working this. Also, we have the ATF
is on the scene as well.
So this is just one scene is on Amnicola Highway. The second scene, Lee Highway and Highway 153, and that's where Alyssa Sperato is. We understand that she said there was a number of shell casings at a shopping plaza at the intersection of Lee Highway and Highway 153 this afternoon. So we have a lot of information still coming in right now this afternoon.
At least two of those active areas, but also lots of surrounding places are also on lockdown as well. We already mentioned Chat State, obviously, Lee University in Cleveland, Erlanger Hospital has also said they're on lockdown. A nurse confirmed that for us. They announced it over the loudspeaker. So though there are some contained areas with a lot of police presence, there are also other schools and businesses and hospitals that are also on lockdown in the nearby area as well.
And we also now know that Mayor Andy Berke has arrived at Erlanger Hospital, which again is on lockdown. They're not accepting any new patients right now, but we do know that the mayor is at Erlanger Hospital, and hopefully we can get an update from our reporter down there on what's going on down there.
And again, we've been working this since broke around 11 o'clock this morning. If you're just now joining us, authorities, they're working an active shooting that happened shortly after 11 o'clock. This all unfolded at the Naval Reserve Center here in Chattanooga, Amnicola Highway, and we're still gathering information. We do know one Chattanooga police officer has been hurt. The mayor confirmed that just about an hour ago, and Calvin, all of this information, as you said, is still coming in.
We do. We just heard from Senator Bob Corker's office. We're now hearing from Chuck Fleischman's office, the 3rd District Representative. Quote, "I've spoken with local officials, and I'm continuing to monitor the situation. My heart and prayers go out to all of those affected." That from 3rd District Congressman Chuck Fleischman.
So again, this is all unfolding. Coming in this afternoon, a number of crews on the scene. So we have two scenes, if you're just now joining us. One, Amnicola Highway at the Naval Reserve location. That's in the 4000 block of Amnicola Highway. Also, the intersection of Lee Highway and Highway 153. That's where another shooting happened. We're going to take some video now. This is that location on Highway 153 where another shooting happened just shortly after all of this unfolded on Amnicola Highway. We're still gathering information. Alyssa Sperato is at that location gathering information this afternoon. We're still trying to figure out exactly what happened, how many, we don't know how many shooters, if there's just one shooter or more shooters. We're still trying to confirm that information this afternoon. Again, a press conference is set to take place shortly here. Brianna Ardundo, our reporter, one of our many crews on the scene. She's headed to that location at the Fire Training Center to get more information. And we're going to bring you that press conference. I'm assuming it'll be live right here on News Channel 9. So stay with us. And you can tweet us this afternoon if you have any new information.
And viewers are taking to Twitter with some pictures. One viewer sent us a picture of the recruiting center. At least a dozen bullet holes in the glass front of this office. So we are seeing that. If you have any pictures, if you're near any of those scenes and want to send them to us, definitely email them to us or post them on our Facebook page or Twitter, and let us know what you've seen and what you've observed of all of these crime scenes, or not crime scenes, I'm sorry, the lockdown and the scenes that are being so closely monitored.
There are lots of business I've noticed in emails and tweets. There are lots of businesses that are being affected by this. I mean, just almost every business up and down Amnicola Highway is being affected by this. So, and you know, we're trying to narrow down exactly where everybody is. We don't have the shot up there that showed where most of the activity was, because I have a feeling they're probably moving everybody back. But we don't know that for sure.
And we're getting some questions on our Twitter. Do we know anything about the suspect? At this time, we do not have any information on the suspect. If this person acted alone or if there were multiple, we still don't have that information. But you can depend on us to share that as soon as we learn more. Of course, the people with those answers are very busy on this scene, containing it, keeping these people safe, and assessing what they can. So as soon as we hear any information about the suspect or suspects, we will certainly let you know.
Again, you know, this has been something that, you know, Calvin, we were talking about this earlier. You've been here for a number of years, and you said you've never seen something like this, of this magnitude, that you can, you know, remember in your recollection.
And I made the statement just a few minutes ago about the no-fly zone. Actually, when the president came to town, there was a no-fly zone, but that's typical for the president. This is an unusual situation. It's an emergency situation, and we've just not had one of those around here.
Most definitely. And again, we are still following this. 2 shooting locations, one at the Naval Reserve location on Amnicola Highway, the 4000 block. Also, we have Alyssa Sperato. She's at the location on Lee Highway, at the intersection of Lee Highway and Highway 153 this afternoon.
Drew Belay just sent another tweet to add to the list of all of the agencies working on these scenes. The Tennessee Homeland Security has just arrived at Amnicola Highway, where Drew is stationed, so we can add them to the very extensive list. Of course, Chattanooga Police Department, Hamilton County, ATF, Tennessee Homeland Security. All of these agencies are working together to get as much information as possible. And from this picture, the Tennessee Homeland Security is passing by Burger King. So we know that is just across the street from the Chattanooga Police Department. Right. So this has to be right on top of where all of these officers already were. So a very busy stretch of Amnicola Highway right now.
And as we said earlier, a number of lawmakers are weighing in this afternoon. Senator Bob Corker tweeting saying, "I have spoken with state and local officials and continuing to monitor the situation here in Chattanooga this afternoon." Also, he says, "My prayers are with those affected by the ongoing situation in Southeast Tennessee." And I know the Senator Corker is also, I think he's in Washington, D.C. He tweeted out this morning he was working on a hearing for the Iran deal. So I'm sure that he's staying in contact with a lot of people here monitoring this situation this afternoon.
Alyssa Sperato, who is at the scene on Lee Highway, sent a tweet just 39 seconds ago saying she now sees 2 officers walking around with guns in tow, and she says they have actually expanded that scene to keep more people safe. There are several businesses in that area, so she says that they have expanded that scene there, and she now sees armed officers there on the scene with her where she is at Lee Highway.
So this, again, we've been following this, as we said, since this morning. We're still following, trying to get more information confirmed. This is all happening as we go. We're getting this information and bringing it to you live right here on News Channel 9. And as we said, Brianna Ardundo is standing by shortly for a press conference. We're going to bring that press conference to you live right here. So many people, so many unanswered questions this afternoon. People wanting to know.
Since this came up, I mean, there's been so much information, so much going around, so much tweeted, and we appreciate that because that helps us help everybody stay informed. But there's just a lot of information out there that we're trying to bring together, trying to confirm. Our crews are working hard, trying to get this information and get it out there to everybody.
And I think the two biggest questions on our viewers' minds are, you know, A, the status of this suspect, this gunman, or multiple gunmen, and B, the condition of this officer that's injured. As Mayor Berke told us earlier that there is an officer that's been injured in this. Hear that. We have that soundbite ready for you. Here's Mayor Berke.
As soon as we know more, we will certainly get that information to you. I talked to Chief Fletcher right before I walked in here. I literally do not know more than I just told you. But as soon as we have more information, this is very important, and I'm very concerned about what's going on out there, and I need to go talk to them.
Why is that troubling?
We've got an officer down. We had somebody out there shooting at our Army Reserve Center. This is a very, very terrible situation, and we need to go figure out how we can handle it.
Again, that's Chattanooga Mayor Andy Berke. We just left the news conference with him just about an hour and a half ago. Josh Rowe, News Channel 9, joins us now.
I want to thank Greg and Kelsey for sitting in for so long, keeping everyone updated. And we're doing the best we can to find out everything that's going on right now. I do believe my microphone is now on. Just like I said, I wanted to say thanks to Greg and Kelsey for keeping us up to date all morning long. As they've been saying all morning long, the information continues to come in minute by minute, and we're doing our best to parse out what is actually happening and what is speculation and what is rumor, and trying to give you the straight facts and the things that we know at this time. The latest thing that we know is that there will be a news conference coming up any minute now. Mayor Berke did speak earlier. We just heard some of that. And he mentioned the Army Reserve Center, which I believe they're on Lee Highway. That's actually an Army recruiting center there, and we've had a live look at that throughout the morning and early afternoon here at 12:49 p.m. as we're waiting for that news conference to find out what exactly is going on.
And a lot of the information that we're getting, is concerned lockdowns, particularly along Amnicola Highway.
Sure.
Everything from Chat State all the way down to Wilcox Boulevard.
Right.
Everybody's on lockdown. Everybody's been, kind of being held in place. Also, Erlanger Hospital. We also heard a report that Memorial Hospital was on lockdown.
Sure.
But we haven't been able to confirm that.
We're going to continue to hear.
That's from somebody that's inside.
We're going to continue to hear more of these lockdowns throughout the day, I'm sure.